That'll make us a truly classic podcast.
Legacy. I think it'll just revoke any awards we've gotten.
Yep. Have take our trophies back, Todd. That is so gay. All right, here we go. We're gonna do it. 3, 2, 1.
Remember, you're only working for this marshmallow temporarily. I need to punch something.
Don't move, Batman. You either, bird girl.
The morning stream. The morning stream. The morning stream. The morning stream. The morning stream.
The Morning Stream with Scott and Brian and a caveman.
Welcome, everybody, to the Moan and Scream. It's Scott Johnson here with Brian Ibbett over there. Good morning, Brian.
Hi, Scott. Hi.
Hello. How's it going? You all right? You doing okay?
I'm good. You know, I'm good. It's Thursday mornings always feel like the calm after the storm for me because Wednesdays are such a crap show.
I actually slept last night, which is shocking.
I did too,
did
and
you?
I haven't even gotten all my oleamide yet.
Your oleamide combo.
Oleamide, yes, I did some melatonin and chamomile.
Sometimes it'll do it, right? That'll fix your right up.
Exactly. Yep.
I think what I did was the thing I should do, which is I got in bed, I grabbed a book, I read it till my eyes felt sleepy, and then I went the F to sleep.
The book is the way to do it, man.
Yeah.
The book is far better than Futurama. As much as I love Bender and Fry and Farnsworth and Leela and the rest.
and the rest. Yeah, those guys are great.
Zoidberg. Yeah.
Zoidberg's a hard voice to do, but you do it.
He really is. I attempt it. I don't know if I do it, but
you're good at getting that back of the throat thing going. I can't do that.
It's the
What is that?
It's kind of like you just place your tongue kind of between your teeth, but flatten it out wide, and you talk like this. And then, I need to hear it before I can do it.
I can't do it. I can't even. I can't get there
because it starts sounding like who's the guy that the Aardvark, the Ant and the Aardvark cartoon, Jackie Mason. It starts sounding like Jackie Mason.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's definitely affecting that kind of
yes,
old Jewish grandpa thing when he does.
He
Zoidberg.
Absolutely is.
Yeah.
Jackie Mason is everybody's old Jewish grandpa.
Did he die? He's not with us, right? He dead?
Jackie Mason. I bet he's
dead.
not because he looked like he was close to death when I was a kid.
He has to be dead. Hold on.
He is still alive. He's 92 years old, living in Sheboygan.
Really? Really?
Jackie Mason's still alive.
Wow. 90, what'd you say?
We're going to have to dig in that hole. I'll cut it.
He had that great Simpsons episode where he played Krusty's dad. Remember that? That was a thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Here it is,
There's
92
a photo
years
here
old.
where he looks like he's melting.
Oh, yeah, he's had some work done. And that work is falling off. It's falling off.
Gravity.
All
We're kind of going to Yogi Bear territory.
right, Jackie Mason. Glad to check in with him. Can't believe he's alive.
But he's still alive.
I was sure he had died. I don't know why. I was sure of it.
I was too. Like I said, he looked like he was close to death when we were kids.
Yeah, stay away from
He
the
seemed
Rona.
old. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Boy,
All
I
right.
hope he's in a plastic bubble somewhere.
Wrapped in plastic. You got to be at that age.
Uh-huh.
You got to be. All right.
Wrap me in plastic. Keep me away from the corona.
Who was it that just died at 90 something? But it was all natural causes. But who was that? Then I was like so sad. What was that? It's like a couple days ago. We weren't on the show. It was on an off day for us, and it was someone who died. It wasn't
96.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Jerry Stiller. It was 90 something.
Oh, Fred Willard, probably.
No, not Fred Willard. That was another one though.
That was a bummer. The Pointer Sister, the guy from Sweet.
I know who it is. Dude from Seinfeld, who was George's boss, that looked like the guy. I can't think of the other guy's name, but he's that actor that looks like the Streets of San Francisco actor.
Carl Malden.
Yeah, Carl Malden's evil twin. He looks like his twin.
Oh, the guy that got ticked off when George was trying to do the charity, like basically the taking Festivus off kind of thing. That guy?
Yes, the one that worked at the Yankees. He was the guy who was in charge of him. Not the one that was not the other guy. All of George's bosses have died, actually, now I think about it. All of George's bosses have passed away.
Well, Larry David is still with us.
Larry Sanders.
Larry Sanders is definitely not with us.
No, but okay, so that's a good point. However, he was not his ultimate boss. His boss, the people he reported to, was the Carl Malden looking guy.
Right. Yeah, Richard Hurd.
That's it. He just died.
Richard Hurd, yeah.
I like that guy. He was in a lot of film sack movies, too.
He was another V guy. We were talking so much about Mark Singer and Jane Badler from V. Richard Hurd was like the head of the V. He was the captain of the V-aliens, the Valians.
Oh, I thought he wasn't a good human. He was an alien man.
No, he was an alien. He was, because I remember him showing up in the red V costume.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun cosplay, right? The V.
You think anyone would know what it is
The V
anymore?
uniforms?
You think you'd wear that and people would go, "Oh yeah"?
I
V."
think you show up to Dragon Con wearing that, and people are taking pictures with you, especially if you have the big dumb sunglasses.
Yeah.
They're like the flat blue blocker looking sunglasses.
Brian, I would donate to this cause for you to dress up like the V aliens.
Oh yeah, I would. I'd be all over that.
All right, I'm in. Let's do this, guys. GoFundMe.com/Brian. Where's
Make a lot of pastries that look like guinea pigs and eat them during the day, like
Yeah, just walk around, just eating rodents all day. It's perfect.
Yeah, gummy rats or something.
Exactly. Well, anyway, he died, and I felt bad. What was the point of that, though? Oh, I have a question. This is a dog question. If we have any dog whisperers out there, or even Brian, if you have some thoughts on this, it'd be great because
Okay.
it's frustrating. Mm-hmm. It seems like it's only getting worse, so I don't know what this means. But so Rainer, my Jim Rainer, the female dog, my pet dog, Yeah. When I take her out in the morning to pee. Well, let me give you the contrast first. When I take Boomer out to pee, Boomer immediately goes right out, squats, pees, comes back. There's no waiting. She knows exactly what she's there for. She just knows how to do it. Rainer goes out there, stretches 5 or 6 times, then stares at me, then lays down and looks at me. I keep going, Rainer, go pee, go pee, go pee, go pee.
And she looks at you like, nope, I'm laying in the grass.
Yep, just looks at me like she doesn't care. And then I'm like, Rainer. And then she'll get up on her feet and go, Rrr! And then run behind me and then run back in front of me. And then maybe at this point, now she's in the sniff mode. So she's sniffing, and now she's pacing, sniffing, going, trying to find a spot. And then she'll kind of half squat for a second, but not quite. And then she'll pick up again and keep looking like she's got OCD about the sniffing. And she'll do this for sometimes, and I'm not kidding, 5 long, solid minutes of doing that. Of just sniff, 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 sniff. And like pacing back and forth in about a 3-foot area. And then finally, she'll drop to the ground and go, and she makes this noise. She goes, like that. And pees.
Okay.
And so what I'm wondering is there a way to snap her out of the weird ritual of like pace, 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 sniff, 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 pace, pace, whereas her sister dog Boomer there just goes out, pees, goes in.
Yeah.
How do I do that? I can't
Well,
stand
let me
it.
ask you this, Scott. Do you pee as fast as you did when you were a teenager?
Yeah, I get right in there and go.
Really? Like, all right, you walk right into you're at the mall. Remember what the malls are like? Remember malls?
I remember
Scott?
malls, yeah. There were
malls?
communal spaces
Right
with
there.
people in them.
Right there between the Sam Goody and the Walden books, there's a bathroom that you.
Yeah. Yeah,
right
I remember
across from
those.
the Spencers and the Hickory Farms.
Those were great times, those malls.
Those are great times. And you go in the bathroom and you just like, pew, and you're done. Like you're
in and
all
out.
right.
No
Yeah.
problem. I don't have any kind of. If I have to pee, I pee. I'm good.
These days, I'm feeling more like Jim Raynor. I get into the bathroom, I stretch, I walk around in circles, I sniff for a while, then I lay down on the floor, and then I'll get up and you'll start sniffing around again, and
then when you finally go, you go.
yeah, exactly. It's all that.
So you're like that guy I saw in the movie theater bathroom that had his head up against the wall and just stood there for a long time.
No, thank God I'm not like that. That
Okay.
seems
I feel bad for that guy.
There is no the less contact with anything I can make in that bathroom, the better.
Yeah, I understand completely. So anyway, the deal there is, I don't know what to do. Like I think it's just her, and she's neurotic a little bit. She's a spaz.
But she's not initiating the I need to go out and pee thing, right? It's like, all right, it is this time. I have to go down and do a show or go down and do some work. But before I do that, you're going to go down and pee. So let's do that right now, right? That's
combination of both. So sometimes it's me just saying you need to get out and pee because it's time to eat in the morning, or out of the kennel. You've been in the kennel all night, whatever. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's her at the door going, I need to go.
Oh, really?
And I'll let her out, and she still does the thing and takes forever.
Jeez. All right. Well, in that case, yeah, I don't know what to tell her. Well, you've got an enclosed. Do you have an enclosed lawn?
Yeah, it's closed.
And
back there.
So you can just let her back there, let her do all of her shenanigans, and then
I could, except here's the problem. Kim's got some tomatoes and some other stuff growing back there, and they're not a problem, but the dogs are really attracted to the chicken-based manure thing she uses to make it all grow. Well, it's not manure. What do you call that when you
chicken?
What do you call it for plants? It's called. You're putting in fertilizer.
Fertilizer, yes.
So they like that. We're supposed to watch that so they don't eat the fertilizer and stuff. So
let me make another recommendation from the chicken family. Maybe a little bit of chicken wire around the tomato plants so you can just let the dog out and not have it take up your. I'm gonna basically have you rearrange your whole backyard so that you don't have to sit there and watch the dog sniff around.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's killing me is the contrast, because she's this hyperactive half greyhound. She's got Italian greyhound blood in her, which means she's always on fire, always ready to roll, always ready to bolt, really athletic. So she has that energy, and I think that's just part of her breed. Boomer, on the other hand, is like 18 different dog mixes, and she's just like derp, I'm a dog, derp, she's just a dog.
Yeah,
dog ass dog. But Rainer, not so much. Anyway, it's just frustrating because of the contrast. I think if it was just still Rainer, she'd be less. It would be less of a thing I would notice, because back when it was just her, I didn't really think about it.
Sure.
Yeah. But Boomer's just like, hey, did Boomer eat? Yeah, okay, let's put her out. Poop. She just poops immediately. Bring her in. Rainer? Nope. In fact, Rainer this morning, as she's digging around to pee, she hears a neighbor move in the back thing behind us, and she turns around and goes, Rrr! And her ridge goes up, and a tiny little poo nugget went flying out of her butt. Just a little poo nugget.
Love that. I love that she has no control. She's just like a little Pez dispenser, like
yeah. It was like a little,
right
and it just shot out like a little ball,
like a little bean.
And I'm like, I looked at her and go, I know you need to go. What are you doing? What are you holding this for? What do you think you need to keep this for? Go, just go.
Right.
Anyway,
Rainbow Bride has a good suggestion. Take them out on packed walks, like together, as opposed to one at a time. Maybe you take them both out at the same time and
well, I've tried that. It's not a bad idea. I've tried that. The problem is, so we do walk them together all the time, and they're fine out on walks. Like, they'll both, do their business while we're walking. But when they're just in the yard, you put them out together. They think that's wrestle time.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And now neither of them will do what they're supposed to do.
Yes,
because they're
right,
wrestling.
exactly. Nope, let's chase, let's play, yay!
Yeah. So
Daisy's deal is we take her for a walk, and there are certain places. All right, there is the sign on the path where somebody hangs bags for people who need poo bags, and I can't even remember what the actual sign is. There is a sign on there, but I don't know what it says.
Yeah.
But she has to stop there, sniff it, and pee on it. Then we have to stop at this little brick corner thing. She has to sniff that and pee on it. And it's basically like maybe about 8 places. And by the 8th place, she does this thing where she doesn't just squat. Most female dogs squat. Most male dogs lift a leg.
Yeah.
She squats and lifts a leg.
Oh, weird.
So she's kind of doing this like Cirque du Soleil balancing act with a squat with one leg straight out.
That's
and by
weird.
the last one, she's just blowing air on the floor, on the grass. But yet she's still like, we'll walk her and we're like, okay, you've got nothing left in you.
Right, you're just blowing dust out of there now.
Just blowing dust out of there. But she's still like, oh no, right here. And she'll like dig her heels into the ground like you're trying to walk her, and she's like, nope, I'm stopping right here.
Yeah.
And we can give her a yank, and it's like, no, you're done. You've
get it.
exhausted your stops. You've used up all your stops.
I think we're dealing with like ancient wolf instincts that they just don't know how to stop. Like Raynor does this thing where if she poops, she'll do the berry thing, the kick and berry.
Oh yeah, I love that.
But she'll do it. She'll do it like 9 miles away from where she pooped. And she humps pillows. She's a freaking female. Like, what are you doing? What kind of dog are you? And I think what happens is there's like deep seated, way down there, supposedly bred out of them a long time ago, but there's a little bit of like old dog,
right?
And they just can't help it. They just got to do what the old dogs did. Their ancestors.
Yeah.
Anyway. Daisy sounds like Boomer, though. She sounds like a Boomer.
Yeah, very similar. Daisy's, nervous. Well, Daisy's got a little bit of Jim Raynor in her, too. She's got the nervous thing. Like, if there's any sort of fireworks or doorbell, she goes crazy. She gets really scared when there's fireworks or things like that. And,
see, that surprises me. Raynor does the doorbell thing.
Mm-hmm.
She'll bark and freak out because she's excited because she thinks it's somebody cool. But the fireworks thing, it's like they're not even happening.
Not at that. Oh man, I'm envious of that.
I don't know how or why. Even I'm a little nervous about them going off. I'm like, they'll sound like gunfire.
So envious because it's like she starts shivering. She's pacing. She's driving us nuts because she's constantly getting up and pacing. We have a thunder shirt. We have calming meds that the vet gave us. We try everything and none of that stuff works.
Do you have Did you say maybe you just said it?
The thunder shirt. Yeah.
Oh, is that what that's called? I always forget the name of it. It's like a tight.
It's basically like a weighted blanket for dogs.
And does she have without it? If there's actual thunder, is that a thing too? Or
she freaks out about thunder too. Yeah.
So
as soon as we see any sort of rain or any sort of like heavy clouds coming in, it's like, okay, get the thunder shirt. Let's give her a little bit of because the stuff takes a while to take effect, so we have to give her the meds from the vet a little bit early to kind of have them kick in. But 4th of July, we haven't gone out for 4th of July in years, and it's usually like, all right, what's a good loud action movie that we want to see? Let's watch it in the basement, full volume.
With the dog down here, it'll be fine.
With the dog down here, exactly.
Wow. How is she with sirens? Because that's Raynor's siren call, literally. She loves it.
Doesn't seem to have an issue with sirens. Ruby was great with sirens. She would go out there and howl and it'd be this horrible, like, like this really.
That's how Raynor is. She's great.
Mariah Carey 2020 versus Mariah Carey 1996 kind of howl.
I'll be in here like doing a show or something. Even on here, like I think even yesterday morning doing TMS, and I'll suddenly hear this in the background. And there's no barking before. It's like it starts like this. It goes like that. She'll just hold it and hold it and hold it. And Boomer won't do it. She doesn't howl. Best. She just sits there, looks annoyed, like, why are you doing that? They couldn't be more different dogs. It's like it really is the odd couple of dogs, and it's got its challenges. I can say that, I guess. Speaking of dogs, we got a email from Fabian.
Speaking of dogs, poor Fabian.
Yeah, poor Fabian. On the topic of pit bulls, we were talking about pit bulls and how they're sweet and how can anyone think they're terrible and why are they banned in the UK and all that. So, hey, Scott and Brian, it just so happens that locally yesterday on the very day you talked about pit bulls on the show, locally we had a woman who was killed by her dog, which happened to be a pit bull. I imagine this will be sparking quite a debate in our province. Let's see. We even had people keeping their kids inside the house because the police warned about a dangerous dog on the loose. I have no idea why the dog was aggressive. We may end up finding some things out after it's investigated. I do think that we need to remember that most dogs were historically bred for a working purpose, not just pets. We have border collies for herding sheep and refuse to sell to people who live in apartments in towns because they really need the activity. I learned that the hard way with I had an Australian sheepdog that could not be contained, and his name was he also had a Battlestar Galactica name. It was Hilo. Hilo was his name.
Hilo, okay.
Yeah, and Hilo would not. We had to end up giving him to a guy who had a farm where he could run.
Yeah, that's the same with we would have loved to have gotten a Weimaraner, but those things require so much physical activity outdoors that you've got to pick a dog that matches your own lifestyle.
That's true. That's why sometimes I think Raynor gets the zoomies. But also she's a very cuddly, sit on the couch and put her head on you kind of dog. So She's just weird. She doesn't count. I can't count her among normal dogs. She's freaking funky, dude. But anyway,
Sure.
it says here there's an article about the issue and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, who knows in that particular case what that dog's deal was. A dog killing its own owner, to me, that seems like maybe something's wrong. Not with just the dog. I mean, the situation. Something's up there.
Right. Yeah, who knows if
I would
the
have to
woman
know
was,
more.
Mistreating the dog or whatever.
But I don't think this
Scary.
is like, Tiger King, where
Just
suddenly one of his
switched-
cats freaked
right,
out.
a little like a little switched flicked inside its head and I'm gonna kill somebody.
I doubt that, but who knows? Hopefully none of you are dealing with dogs that want to kill you. Okay, all right. Yeah. One other note about the dog thing. So yesterday when I went out to have them pee, and every morning it's sort of a similar situation with Rainer. I got to kind of coax her into it. You can kind of sternly tell her to do it over there using my
You
pointer.
have to make it sound like it's her idea, huh?
Yeah.
Like you have to inception.
all of that.
Inception.
But here's the problem: we have these very nice neighbors, really cool people. Love these guys next door to us. They moved in, I don't know, a year ago, and they've been great, just great. Young couple, probably early 30s, no kids, but a bunch of little yippy dogs, and they're just really nice. And they also put in a hot tub. At the same time they put a hot tub in, we had a tree removed, and it just so happens that the tree we had removed blocked our view of where the hot tub would be. But because we had the tree removed, now I have full view of the hot tub, which means, and we're also elevated a little higher than they are. So if they're out there in the hot tub and I come walking out, I'm just like, there they are in the hot tub, and here I am looking at them, and I look like the weird neighbor because of that. Now, we know them and they laugh and it's fine. But yesterday, I didn't notice she was in there. The sun is out, and I'm kind of holding my hand up because it's blaring, and I'm walking out like this. And I'm like, Rainer, go freaking pee. I'm sick of waiting for you to pee. Go pee. And right in the middle of me saying all this, go pee, I peek up out of the corner of my eye, and there's the neighbor lady in the hot tub just looking at me going, hey, what's going on?
Just watching you.
I hate it. Ugh, I wish
You
that tree
think
was
that
there.
they would man, like they'd situate in the hot tub. It's like, well, we don't have that tree anymore. Let's situate so that we're facing something that's not just directly looking at our neighbor.
I think what happened was the timing was just really bad. They put it in as we tore the tree down, and I remember that weekend them coming over the fence going, "Oh, so what's going on with that tree?" And I said, "Oh, it's dying. It's like it's dead. All these needles are falling off already. It's supposed to be fall when that happens. This thing is dead." And it got one of those beetles that are around here, I guess, that just kill pines. They just kill them. And so we're like, we got to cut it down. And they're like, oh, okay, well. Yeah, I could tell in their voice at the time. They were like, oh, crap, that was our cover for this place that we put our now 5 billion pound hot tub full of water. It's now sitting there. You can't just easily move it. You know?
We're not moving the hot tub.
Right. So I feel a little
What
bad
about
about
putting
that.
up a new tree?
We thought about that, but then that sounds like work and money, and I don't want to do that.
Just look for another spot on your yard where you've got a little glowy circle, a little glowy point. Dig that up,
Yeah.
and then dump $10,000 into that glowy circle, bury it again,
Right.
and take the sprout that comes up, and then bury like that right there between you and the neighbors. And then when that grows into a money tree, then it'll also give you money, and it'll block the view of the neighbors.
Now, how many days should I wait for that to grow? How long will that take, do you think?
4 days.
Okay,
4 days.
so 4 days to do that. And,
4 days.
and the money, does the money keep growing back, or do I just get the money? the
No,
one
you just get it the one time.
time? Okay. Gosh.
But it does triple your money. So if you bury $10,000, you'll get $30,000 guaranteed.
Well,
You could try more. Sometimes you get more,
Yeah.
but sometimes you don't.
yeah, it's a
And,
little bit of a gamble, that game.
It's a little bit
Or
of a
that thing.
gamble, yeah.
Shoot, I gave it away. It's a game. I gave it away.
it's a little bit of a game.
For those who are seriously confused about what we're talking about, if you play Animal Crossing, this all makes sense. If you don't, this is the most weird conversation we've ever had.
I think I got to get my mom on Animal Crossing.
Your mom would probably like it.
I think she would really like it. I
Yeah.
think she needs a distraction right now.
feel like that game transcends generations pretty well and is a
Mm-hmm.
kind of game that people who don't normally play games could enjoy. And yeah, I think she'd probably really like it. You'd be
Probably
a nice
would.
son if you got her a copy of that.
Yeah, because I'd have to get her a Switch too. I'd be the best son ever. Is
man.
what I'd be.
I forgot. Yeah, you have to have the Switch to play it.
You have to have a Switch. That's kind of a requirement.
Plus, they're really hard to get. A friend of mine asked me yesterday, "Hey, you know where I can get a Switch Lite?" They're nowhere, and I'm like, "I thought they were back in stock." Nope, they're gone everywhere. Nobody can get a Switch right now, so it's a bummer. But I got my yellow one.
That's a nice. I like the yellow. I saw a video of Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo plays Animal Crossing,
Yeah, he's into it.
which is the best thing ever.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, I got another butter. My pockets are full of butterflies. Oh, look, I made a taco truck over here.
I love it. I love the idea that tough, spent time in prison, tough guy with a billion tattoos and pockmarked to hell, looking like he could tear you to pieces, is playing the most innocent
I
man in
created
the
Muscle
world.
Beach on my beach. And you got to have a boombox in Muscle Beach. Kind of is. All right, he is kind of sounding a little bit like a Jewish grandpa. I have not workshopped my Danny Trejo.
You don't have a Danny Trejo yet? All right. There's always time.
Ooh.
Don't worry about it. But somebody
The
had
Switchlight doesn't have rumble?
No, there's no rumble on Switchlight.
Oh, that's how I fish. I can't do I'm watching the hook going underwater thing. I
Really?
basically I throw the line in, and then I away, and it's like you just feel a little bit of a or a and as soon as you feel the that's when you hit the button.
Oh, that seems nice. I guess it happens
Fishing
on
fishing is so much better for me with the rumble.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, with the Pro controller would have rumble, I guess.
Oh yeah, use the Pro controller.
Yeah, I
with
could do that, but
you go.
but yeah, I just do it visually. I never have trouble catching them though. I just as soon as you see the water splash, you just go.
Sure.
So it's not too bad. Even with
If
the
you get
sound
used
off.
to it that way, then it's probably
Yeah, even with the sound off, and I'm ignoring people. Like my wife's telling me a big story, and I don't know what she's saying. I can still tell when the fish is down. Don't tell her I said that. All right. One final note here from Blue, who wrote in and says, Billions Season 5, Episode 1 had a bunch of really good moments and messages that feel really timely in case you guys stopped watching. Still an awesome show. I've never seen a single episode of Billions.
I never started watching Billions, let alone stopped watching Billions, but I hear good things about it, and I love Giamatti, so
Yeah.
it's not something that I've stayed away from intentionally. Is that on Showtime?
Showtime,
Cinemax?
yeah. As far as I know, that may be the only really great show on Showtime right now. Maybe. I mean, what's its name, or what's the thing with what's her name ended? Homeland. Homeland
ended, I think.
Homeland ended, and what's the one with the people in it?
Shameless.
Shameless. You knew what I was talking about when I said the
I
people
knew with
in
the
it.
people. Yes. Oh, yeah. The one with the people. Yes.
And that's done.
The Gallagher family. The problem with that's still on, but they've had so much cast turnover. At least the cast turnover that I care about is gone. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The main character, main actress, that's not William H. Macy, the oldest daughter, she left, and it's like,
Yeah, no big deal, huh?
What else? Homeland, Shameless, Billions, Ray Donovan, still going on.
Oh, Ray Donovan, I forgot about that. People like that.
People like that. Is Kidding back? Because I liked Kidding, the Jim Carrey. Did you ever see that?
No. What is that?
Oh my God, it's so good. He plays like a Mr. Rogers type character that kind of goes off the deep end.
Oh wow. Okay.
And it's so good.
And
Yeah,
it's not like a documentary thing. It's an actual Jim Carrey role.
No, it's an actual Jim Carrey. He basically plays a like a kids TV show host, and his ex-wife is with somebody else, or maybe his wife is cheating on him, or
And it's called
and
Kidding.
just basically everything all goes wrong, and he kind of still maintains it somewhat for the show, but even the show kind of takes a dark.
Oh, look at this cast too. Frank Langella,
Yeah.
Judy Greer. This is good.
Judy Greer, Mary, or not Mary, what's her name?
Mary, quite
His
contrived.
wife. She was in 40-Year-Old Virgin. Why am I forgetting her name? Catherine Keener.
Oh, okay.
She's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really good show.
This is highly rated as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to check it
I think
out.
Showtime might be one of those things where it's like, all right, when you've gotten to the point where you've binged the things that you want to see on Hulu or Disney Plus or HBO Max, I guess on those we're pretty much locked in because we pre-bought 3 years. But it might just be like, all right, Showtime, we're gonna binge all the stuff we want to see on Showtime right
Yeah.
now in 1 month.
Yeah.
And just take advantage of the free month or the cheap month.
Well, it looks like season
Oh,
2
the new
is.
Penny Dreadful.
Oh
is,
yeah,
is
yeah,
up
yeah.
there,
That's
too.
over though, right?
That's-
They don't do that anymore over there.
The new season.
That's not them though. Somebody else is doing that.
It's new. It's Showtime. It's not Ava Green, but it's a new series, and it stars Dormer.
Natalie Dormer.
Natalie Dormer
I like her.
from Game of Thrones. I do too.
Yeah, she's cool. I dig her.
Yeah.
There's something about her. Hard to
Yeah.
put your finger on why she's so interesting, but she is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there is a season 2 of Kidding. It's
Yes.
it's airing now, I guess, right?
I think so, or just ended, just wrapped.
All right,
I don't know.
I'm interested in that. Okay, well, I take it back. I guess Showtime has some cool shows. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I just, for whatever reason, I thought they.
Good luck binging 5 seasons of Billions in 1 month, though.
Well, it's not too long, right? Like 10 episodes a season or something. It's pretty
I don't
small.
know. Yeah, might be short seasons.
Yeah. All right.
Some of that might even be available on Netflix, because sometimes you get that stuff that moves from.
That's true. It just feels like in all this ribble rumble to get like streaming services up and everybody competing with each other, you just didn't hear much from Showtime. It just felt like they have an app.
Yeah,
but
they said we're good with we have our Showtime Anytime, whatever it's called, our app. We're good. We're not going to like join forces with Home and Garden Television and create a new streaming service.
Exactly. I don't know. It's kind of funny how that works. All right. Well,
Yeah.
we've done all we can do there. I think it's time for this. Whoops, this.
This is the info we've been waiting for.
Time for the news, brought to you by.
Film Sack this weekend. We finally see Twister. There will be cows. Will you be there? Get details and sub up at filmsack.com.
Very, very nice. All right, so let's held the story for a day or two because it's interesting to me. I think maybe we
touched on this yesterday.
Yeah, did we
That's,
talk about it? I guess we did.
Mhm.
With Dunaway or something.
With Nicole.
Oh, yeah, we did because I've been watching these. Okay, well, here's the official word. New Looney Tunes cartoons ban Elmer Fudd from having a gun, but other mayhem is okay. So here's the part we didn't talk about. Elmer J. Fudd will have to find another way to bag that wascally wabbit, Bugs Bunny, during hunting season because in the updated Looney Tunes cartoon streaming service, and again, this is not them going back and retrofitting the old stuff. This is just their weird new series, which honestly I'm nervous to watch anyway because they never get that stuff right. So
No.
we'll see.
We're going to let Elmer Fudd keep his gun. It will continue to be Wabbit season
Now let me tell you.
across this great nation of ours.
Let me tell you what just happened. You did a thing that was small, funny, and not political even. It was just like, hey, here's a public figure, and now you made a fun voice about
yes.
him. But I'm going to get emails from people who say that 90% of the show is politics based on that alone.
Right, yes,
Because they
exactly.
cherry pick the hell out of this stuff and then they blow it way out of proportion and it drives me crazy. And I'm not saying I say continue to do it. You should do it whenever you
Right,
feel it.
right.
What I'm saying to them is quit being so unrealistic. If somebody makes a tiny voice and it took 3 seconds to do during the show, that does not constitute your show's too political. It doesn't.
Right, exactly. They need to measure it like my internet host measures uptime. We're
Right.
99.9% not political, but there's these.
Oh, it drives me crazy. Drives me crazy. I stopped listening to Scott's stuff yesterday because it's just too political. No,
just
Brian
too
made
bleeding hard liberal.
Brian made a voice. That's it. That's it.
I love the fact that because I did that, you're gonna get the emails.
Oh, I
like,
totally will. I've had him. He's like, if you guys aren't doing a voice every day, I swear. Blah, blah. I'm like, okay, freaking.
Jeez. All right.
All right. Anyway,
You know
so
what?
yeah.
You know what? Let take some of the heat off, Scott. Email me at wah, and you can spell that with as many A's as you want because I own the domain wah at brianibbett.com.
I like
as
it.
many A's, WAAAAA. The more the sadder you are about it,
Yeah.
the more A's I want you to put in that wah at brianibbett.com.
It's perfect.
Thank you.
It's perfect. Well done.
It's true. I'm dead serious. I have the domain. Whatever you put in there, I'll get.
All right. Wow.
Wah at
Wah.
brianibbett.com.
All right. Let's do this. Oh, where was I? I don't remember.
We were
now.
talking about Elmer Fudd.
That's right. In the new classic cartoons, Fudd will still be hunting, but will use a scythe. Oh my lord! He's going to use a giant scythe.
Is he really? I thought that was a joke.
No, he's going to use a scythe like death.
I'm going to remove your head, Wabbit.
All disembody you and take all your limbs.
He's gonna walk into frame going,
yeah. And Bugs Bunny's going to be like,
"Hey, Bugs, good to see you, Bugs." Little have the sign like hanging on his shoulder.
yeah. Honestly, I'd rather have a shotgun now. I think I'd
He'll
prefer
use a
it.
baseball bat wrapped with barbed wire.
That's right. It says, we're not doing guns, says Peter Braungart, executive producer of the series. In an interview with the New York Times, he says, but we do cartoony violence, TNT, the Acme stuff, he says in his quote. Braungart added the cartoons will stay true to the originals, except for the gun part. I always thought, what if Warner Brothers had never stopped making Looney Tunes cartoons? As much as we possibly could, we treated the production in that way. The modern versions will reflect modern sensibilities, he said. We're going through this wave of anti-bullying. Everyone needs to be friends. Everyone needs to get along. Looney Tunes is pretty much the antithesis of that. It's two characters in conflict, sometimes getting pretty violent. He's right. It is.
Yeah.
I guess they just won't do it with guns. So.
But Elmer Fudd with a gun is a hunter. Elmer Fudd with a scythe is like a serial killer.
Yeah. It puts the lotion on the skin, or it gets the hose again.
Let me have a bow and arrow because of that guy in Salt Lake City.
Oh, that guy. He's got 2 federal charges now. That dude's going to jail. It's bad. He done goofed with that. You don't bring a freaking weapon like that and aim it at people and I guess fire it twice, although they were terrible firings, but and he's not. Nobody needs to hire him for their archery competition. I can promise you that. But
definitely not. No,
big mess. Here's a story about Isaac Newton.
Okay,
let's get into the history and the science here. Isaac Newton proposed curing plague, not curling the plague.
A curling plague.
A curling plague, so that no one did curling in the Olympics ever again. Done. That's your story. No. Isaac Newton proposed curing plague with toad vomit, according to new unseen papers. You ever seen papers? Now they're unseen.
Unseen papers.
Yeah. You ever unseen
You have
papers?
some unseen papers? Look at it. It's on the Drudge Report. Look at it.
It says it is not as bad as suggesting injections of disinfectant, but oh great, more emails. Isaac Newton's 17th century prescription for plague, which blended powdered toad and toad
Because
vomit.
I mentioned the Drudge Report.
No, because this thing says, not as bad as suggesting injections for a disinfectant, which is a veiled reference to something a certain person told people.
Send your emails to theguardian.com.
Guardian.
Good luck with that.
Guardian.wa.coverville.com. Anyway, so they mixed actual toads with the toad's vomit, and they formed little lozenges, little suck-on units.
Oh, good, because that's the thing you want to just have slowly dissolve in your mouth as opposed to just swallowing it and getting it over with.
This is so good all day. Sucking on this.
Luden's toad vomit drops. What flavor did you get? Oh, I got regurgitated plant life. What do you? Oh, I got pond moss.
Yeah, pond moss. It's so random that you never know what flavor you're going to get. Says here, 2 unpublished papers in Newton's notes on John Baptiste van Hermont's 1967 book on plague, De Pesta, it's called.
Mr. Pesta.
Which I think is like, I don't know, the pest? I don't know what that is. The pestilence? The pestilence,
Jan
probably.
Baptist von Helmont de Pest.
His book on plague called De Pest must be...
That's just somebody, De Pest mode. That's just somebody who has too many damn names.
De Pest mode. Well, that's the name of his book, and I don't know I don't know what it means. If I'm to guess, De Pesta probably means the pestilence. Right, Jet? Help me out here. Am I smart? How smart am I?
Peste. What is it? What is it in French?
Yeah. How do you say it?
Frenchus, chat room.
Or is it Spanish? No, it's French. Is French, right? I don't know, dude.
Day can be Spanish, but in this case, I think it is. Yeah, pestilence is what Tally Zorel says.
So it is pestilence.
Pestilence.
Yep, yeah, look at me. Look at the brain on Brad, if my name was
That's
Brad.
right.
Anyway.
Because them toads are pestilence.
There you go. These papers are about to be auctioned off by Bohams this week. I guess that's a auction thing. Never heard of Bohams. You heard of Bohams?
Never heard of that. No, I haven't heard of Bohams.
They make a good tuna sandwich. Anyway,
I've heard of Sotheby's. I've heard of what's the other big auction?
oh, geez.
Yeah, there's like a couple big auction things, but I've never heard of
Oh crap! What? Why can't we think of that?
Bonhams, Christie's.
Christie's, duh.
Christie's. Yeah, Bonhams. I haven't heard.
Yeah, Christie's Bonham is a.
But I hear it's you can get a black dog auctioned off there,
Is that?
or a custard pie, or what else? What else would they auction off at Bonhams?
Helena. They auction off
A
Helena.
stairway. You could probably get a stairway.
Yeah, you
heaven.
can get one Helena, one Carter, but you got to get the Bonham.
Oh,
in
I
the
see.
middle.
I see where you're going.
You see what I meant there?
You're
with
going
the name?
Helena Bonham Carter. I was going John Bonham.
Yeah. See, look at us with our name references. It's pretty strong.
Mhm.
Pretty strong work there on both our parts.
No. Yeah.
Anyway, they're going on auction.
We're gonna get emails now from Zeppelin fans.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Perfect. Love hearing from those Zeppelin folks.
Oh, Barclays. That's the other one.
Barclay, is that a thing?
Yeah, Barclays is another big auction house.
Is that the auction house where the owner
Goes crazy in the holodeck.
yeah, just spends all his time in the holodeck making moves on people he shouldn't?
That's right,
Is that-
exactly.
Is that it? Okay.
Our next auction is going to be 25 minutes in the holodeck with a fake Deanna Troy. Do I hear 100 quatloos? How about 100 quatloos?
Oh my lord. That's awesome. All right, where the heck was I? Oh yeah. So
Isaac Newton wants to see. They don't always have these inventors. They don't always have good ideas.
yeah, no, they
right?
don't. They
Yeah.
don't. Oh, it actually says later
He
it's
fake
called.
sits under a tree and fake gets hit on the head with a fake apple and invents gravity, but sometimes it's all toad vomit.
Yep, you're not wrong. It says here later the notes include a case of a man who touched pestilent papers, immediately felt pain like a prickling needle, and developed a pestilence ulcer in the forefinger, and died in 2 days. And this observation, and in his observation, quote, places infected with the plague are to be avoided. And then he goes on record to say, toad vomit, that's the jam. Get it. Put it in your butt and go.
It's the jam.
Yeah.
Toad vomit. It's the jam.
It's the jam. It's the jam.
Ugh.
All right. A Williamson man in Massachusetts. Williamstown, Massachusetts.
There you go.
Not Williamson.
Not that part is relevant.
Doesn't really matter that much, but I said it anyway. Allegedly threw a pickle, a large one, at a highway worker. I love this story. This is great.
A large pickle.
A large pickle in the quote.
Clearly a Clausen's. I don't think it was a.
It's not a
I don't
black.
think it wasn't one of those little cocktail pickles. No, that was a big Clausen's dill.
Do you like? You know what I like? I like the slivers, the long.
The long sandwich
Yes.
sliver
Oh,
pickles.
I could eat
I do
those
too.
all day, and I like both the dill and I like the sweet. And
The bread and butter.
yeah, there's something about that format of pickle
Mm-hmm.
cut that I can eat with almost anything.
Yeah, but it's got to be. I mean, you can't like say I'm just gonna nosh on some long pickle slices because they're floppy. You got to like. You'd have to hang them down like sardines.
Oh, totally, because they're
You got to
flat.
put them in a sandwich. You got to put them in something.
Yeah,
But,
chat room saying spears. We're not talking the spears. We're talking sliced like paper,
Right.
not paper, but
like planks. They're like pickle planks.
yeah, like planks, and they are floppy, so you can't. They don't. They have zero rigidity. They're super floppy.
Right.
And you put them on. You lay them out like in a hot dog. They're perfect because you just jam
Oh,
them
and
in
a
there.
hot dog is great. Yeah, no kidding.
Oh my gosh, I want a pickle right freaking now.
Do you not have pickles?
Yeah, we probably
I
have
think
some
I've
of
even
those.
got pickles that I've pickled myself.
Dude, that sounds good too.
Yeah.
Have you had pickled beets? You ever done that?
I haven't done pickled beets. The neighbor has.
I don't
'cause he
I don't even
grows
like
beet.
beets, but pickled beets, man.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, I've
good.
had them. I've never pickled them, but I've had them.
Well, get on it. We're tired of waiting for
In
it.
Australia, you get those on your burgers. Slices of pickled beet.
I'd eat that. I would do that.
Uh-huh.
No problem, Australia. Oh, someone
Australia's
earlier asked
got it.
about this hat. You can get this on the store, you guys. Frogpants.com/store. There's TMS hats and beanies and stuff. If you were, I can't remember who asked, but someone asked. There it is.
Oh, they're great. They're
Yeah.
great. The beanies are great. The hats are great.
Yep.
It's all great.
Beanie hats are
Oh,
great.
great stuff,
Hats
great,
are great. It's all great. Some say the best ever.
TMS making hats great again. I got my first email to wah@brianibit.com. He put the H He more like did the Farnsworth wah,
Oh.
like he did the WHAAAAAA at BrianIbbott.com.
That's spelled wrong. That's
Mitch.
not correct at all.
No, but that's more like a wah at BrianIbbott.com. You
Yeah.
just wanted me to have a lovely day. Thank you, Mitch.
Oh, thanks, Mitch. That was really
See?
sweet.
No crying about my Trump impersonation.
Yeah.
Just wanted me to have a good day.
Thanks, Mitch. Good luck on your senatorial reelection this year. Okay. Where was I? Oh yeah. Okay. So the incident
large pickle,
occurred.
throw
Yeah.
him.
It's an assault charge because this guy threw this large pickle from the moving vehicle. It hit a Vermont highway worker. Incident occurred before 6 p.m. Monday. Passenger in the southbound vehicle threw a object later determined to be a large pickle. It says in the police report. Hit the
Later
worker.
determined to be like after a forensic investigation.
Yeah.
It was later determined to be a large pickle.
After a very complex and deep investigation, turns out large pickle. It says that it caused the worker pain, caused him pain.
I'd like to know how hard you have to throw a large pickle to cause pain, because it feels like you're in a moving car.
Yeah,
Well, the moving car adds some velocity itself to the pickle.
right. That's right. There is perpetual motion happening with or not perpetual motion. What's that called? When you like a guy in space, he seems like he's just floating still. What's that called?
Centrifugal force or something. It's not that, but it is a
It's one of those things. Velocipickle. Nice one, Miss Marie.
velocipickle.
I can't
Get to
remember
the
what
name.
that's-
Get to this guy's
Is
name.
it velocity? Velocity. All right.
Okay,
Anyway,
that's what I said.
agency.
I was thinking momentum. Yeah.
Maybe it's
Inertia.
momentum.
Oh, inertia.
Inertia.
She was so good in
Oh, she
Lady Bird.
Right? And when she played with Prince, man, I never got tired of it.
So many different directions.
Those were the best years. When Inertia played with Prince. All right, where are we? What the hell was I? Oh, okay.
Get to the name. Get to the guy's name. What's his name, Scott? What's this guy's name?
Christoph Herman. Hold on. Herman.
Christoph.
Christoph. What'd I say? Did I say
You said Kriston?
Oh.
Then Christoph.
Christoph. Christoph Hermans Doerfer.
Hermansdorfer.
Is it?
Yes.
But the D-O-E-R part is real weird.
Still Dorfer. Still, it's just the German.
That's German. of
Though
course.
that is one German ass name. Christoph Hermansdorfer
Yeah.
is like.
I throw the pickle from the car. The pickle is always the best weapon. Oh, we forgot to celebrate the birthday yesterday of Philip. He turned.
Oh, I know.
Turned
Yeah.
99. We
Yeah.
missed an opportunity to yell Philip really loud on his birthday.
It still has nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein.
No. Well, wait.
Not him. What? No.
Wait, it's the prince of. It's the other guy. Prince.
It's the other guy. Yes.
He was a prince of.
Not Philip.
No, Duke of
Earl.
underage sexual encounter. Andrew, Prince Andrew. Yeah, there's no way. By the way, after watching that Jeffrey Epstein thing, no way that guy didn't do what they say he did. Not a chance. Absolutely did it.
Wow.
100%. No question. No question. Prince Andrew put his wiener where it don't belong, and I mean that. All right. This guy's in trouble, and that's that story. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Wendy will be here. Yeah, don't throw pickles is the lesson, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. If you could have one takeaway today, it's don't throw a pickle.
Don't throw a pickle. But do come back in a minute because my sister Wendy will be joining us. We're going to be talking about an important issue from somebody who's got a question. We got an email from a listener. We'll do that right after this song break that Brian will introduce to you now.
Yeah, how about a little shoot?
And you people, you're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek.
I understand what it's like to fight your true nature.
This is the Morning Squeerini.
Oh, I have to unmute myself. Hi, we're back.
Yeah, we're not going to hear you if you don't do that.
That kind of song is my jam. It chills me out.
It is so zen and so mellow. Again, Rinse is the name of the artist, and brand new single called "Trust in Me." No, not a Jungle Book cover, but good nonetheless.
Yeah, it's really good. I dug it. I dig it. I dug it. Okay. For some
Dig dug
reason, you dig dug it. All right. For some reason, my browser's being weird, so I'm going to try something real fast.
Okay.
I don't know why it's doing this, but we're going to give it a shot and see if I can figure out why. This might make you all crunchy when I restart it. Let's find out.
Okay.
Here we go. Come on, Firefox. Don't be rude to me. Be nice to me. I think it's working now.
Okay.
It's just... Here, say some words. Let me see if it's making...
All right. This is me saying words, and I'm hearing myself just for a minute as it tries to figure itself out.
Yeah, it's I'd have to reboot to fix it. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to not touch it. I'm going to let it sit there and just be what it's going to be. And you should be okay now. Say words now.
Okay. All right. Here's me saying words again, and I'm no longer crunchy.
Okay, good. It's
Yes.
still a little bit.
Crunch.
It's going.
Crunchy. Well, it's probably still figuring itself out.
Yeah, it's still running its stuff. Once in a while, I get a weird little browser thing, and today's one of those days. So it's suddenly just chewing up a bunch of CPU, and I don't know why. I've only got one tab open, so I don't know. Maybe they're tracking me. It's the NSA. That's what's happening.
That's got to be it. Totally it.
They found me, Brian. They found me. I don't know how they did it, but they found me, Marty. All right.
They found me, Marty.
Marty, they found me. I don't know how they did it. Okay, Wendy, no answer. Oh, there she is. Now maybe she does. Let's try that again. Here we go. I can tell.
Wendy.
Wendy, are you there, Wendy? Wendy, hello. Okay, maybe not. Maybe she isn't answering. Let me pause this. Okay. Save that. And I'll pause that.
We got plenty of video games going on. Don't worry. We
Enough
don't need
distractions
one.
going on. You don't need
Yeah,
to.
but this one's so nice and peaceful, and nobody
You
shoots
terraform
anybody.
beaches.
Yeah, you can terraform a beach and ruin nature, sort of.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, look who it is, everybody. It's my sister Wendy. She is a therapist, helps people all the time with their real problems, comes on Thursdays and does Therapy Thursday, where we help you with yours. It's good to have you here. How was your week? It seems like things have it's all peaceful protests now, right? Like that's what we got now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, unless you're a Confederate statue, then it's not.
Yeah.
It's not super
Then it's
peaceful.
Not peaceful. Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys aren't having a good week, those Confederate statues.
They're not. No.
No. I just
yeah.
think, does everyone who's all upset about that really know the history of them? Because
No.
they are
No, they don't.
relics from 1950. They are
Well,
not.
They're not even from the Civil War, and they're also not history. History is in books and other records. They're just statues. And also, while we're at it, there's a couple of McDonald's, like Ronald McDonald sitting on a bench ones we could get rid of. And
Those are terrifying.
let's get rid of
Those
all
are
the
terrifying.
eyesores,
Can we
know?
pull some of those down? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Get rid of Big Boy.
a couple Azar's big boys.
Yeah, that's the guy. That's what I was thinking of. Can we pull him down? How about that weird bull in New York? Actually, I kind of like that one that's staring down the kid. That was
No,
cool.
but the horse in at Denver Airport could use a yank down.
Well, it's made of penises and demon parts and stuff, right?
It is. It's part of the It's like the Illuminati secret signaler.
Yeah, let's take it all down. Let's do it.
Oh,
Anyway,
sure.
Utah's having a COVID spike, so that's fun. We're enjoying that.
Yeah, yos, I'll tell you why. Just go to Instagram and watch everyone. Good night. You'd think it never happened. People are like, all right, now I'm at a wedding with 4,000 people. You're
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
How? How did this just happen?
Got
I
weird.
still can't get
People
my
are
hair
going
done.
through. It's a lot of fatigue out there, like a lot of COVID fatigue, where it's like, I just give up. I want to be free.
I know.
I think they also
I know.
saw giant groups of protesters and went, well, if they're doing that, we'll do this. But then
I'm
again,
going to
some
a
of this
wedding.
stuff happened on Mother's Day and then freaking Memorial Day, which is where those cases have incubated from. At least so far, that's what the data is suggesting. And that was before the riots / protests. So I don't think it's a good excuse. I think people were just getting antsy and wanted to go out there and do it. So there
Which
you
is
go.
it's so understandable. And it's so interesting to see social contagion too. Because, I can observe it and go, wait, what?
Yeah.
I literally am barely able to get my hair cut.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I have to do my temperature and wear my mask and I have to do all the things. And I'm pretty desperate. I dream about haircuts now. It's
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah. I want to see your hair. We haven't seen it. I mean, you don't have to show it
It
to
is
us now.
long
but-
and awful. And then here's the thing. and so people are seeing other people, and the West particularly is where all the upticking is happening. And I just think it's you're all cowboys out there. I don't know.
We're all
and
cowboys.
you're gonna do whatever the heck
We're
you
all
want.
cowboys.
Yep.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Yep, we're all-
COVID-19.
Yeah. Everyone's a cowboy.
But
in the
it
end.
does make you go, wait, hold on, if they can do it. But then this is the worst thing about this whole thing is it's
Gonna
not
be.
built
We gotta be
for-
watching. Yeah, we gotta be watching those spikes, like what's coming up after all of the protests, the Memorial Day stuff.
Second wave is going to be brutal, dude. It's going to be brutal.
Well,
it's
and I
already
did
being
a
brutal.
survey for the NBA because I'm a every once in a while game goer. Just depends.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I filled out their survey. It was quite long, quite thorough, and it was fascinating because they were asking, like, what has made me comfortable in places that have opened up, or what would it look like? What are the physical elements about it? It was like they want to know: are you going to come if we hold games next
open
year?
up? Yeah.
Yeah, and what does that look like? And it was interesting. They did a weirdly good job of making me think I mattered. And I was like, guys, I don't matter. I go to like one game every 2 years, but still, I appreciate the time to feel like I matter.
Wait,
so
who, like,
weirdly,
Timberwolves, right?
Yeah, Timberwolves.
Yeah, they're desperate for any fan, so it's
Yeah, they're like the Cleveland Browns. That team. They don't really get the wins anymore these days. It's too bad.
we got a new guy who has not had a chance to play yet.
Yeah, I was gonna
Angelo,
say
amazing.
he's all atrophied now and can't do anything.
I know
'cause,
everyone's gonna get injured, and anyway.
it's gonna be bad. I don't know how they're. I assume there's like fitness regimens they're all having to adhere to for their teams. I just don't know how that's going. Like, are they all in like their own gyms? I don't know I don't know what athletes are doing right now.
Just active play. It's such a different thing. It is
Mm-hmm.
not the strain. You'd have to. I don't know. And I think everyone's sitting on their butts a lot more. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true. Wendy used to play a little
Yeah.
basketball and softball, you guys. She used to be a little
I did.
Yeah. She's the most athletic Johnson we made.
is that the basketball sound right
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Like
My brother,
Wendy's fight sound.
my older brother Mark played. He was a place kicker for football or something,
Yeah.
but that was just whatever. It's fine. But he wasn't like particularly athletic or anything. But Wendy is the one that like carried the ball. She was the one. She did it.
That's right. I'm
Well
the
done.
only one in the whole family who
Yeah.
can do anything.
The Koreans didn't care. The Koreans are like, what? Sports? Whatever. Give me some kimchi. They didn't care. That sounds terrible.
It does. Racist.
Yeah,
Here's the thing.
racist about my
I'm
own
all
siblings.
about just calling it now. Now I have this freedom. I don't care about white fragility anymore.
Yeah. Now you're racist. It's time
I'm
to.
racist.
Yeah, I'm
No, wait.
racist. My growing up with Korean siblings was an amazing experience. I wouldn't trade it for the world because I feel like we have a weird insight on some of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like people yelling, "Go home, Asian, to your own country. You brought the virus here." Stuff. I guess Matt got yelled at a couple times or something.
He has since this has
I
happened.
think so. While he was out doing UPS
Good
stuff, I think
night.
somebody yelled at him. I thought I heard that.
He's
I don't
like,
want to.
I'm from Korea, who has contained the virus, you dummy.
Yeah, the Korea did real well with this thing. We got to do
where it's at.
whatever they're doing. I'll have some of that. Anyway, all right. We're gonna get to today's email. We got one today from somebody we're gonna call, I think B. Yeah, B.
B. I do like B.
You like B? Okay, good. Well, here it goes.
Good.
Just so Wendy knows what that's from. Hold on. I don't want to leave her in the dirt here. Here we go.
Please don't.
Yeah, we have this clip we play all the time. This is it.
I don't like bees.
So we always make fun of it and do other things.
Nice.
But we like this B. He says, just finished listening to Thursday's show and you asked Wendy for asked for emails for Wendy's segment. How to be a good father during a pandemic when your kids are not with you. I am 50-something-year-old white guy with 3 kids. One is out, one is in college, and one is in high school. Since the divorce, we have had shared custody of the kids, and I had them every other week. They have been at their mom's house since early March. I miss them, and I don't know how to be a good parent remotely, especially with my high schooler. Let's see. This is the gist. More rambly details below. This just hasn't been okay. But let me skip ahead. Okay, here it says. Since March, they have been at their mom's house. I see them when I drop them off, and
When I drop stuff off. Yeah.
drop stuff off that I have gotten for them. I call them every now and then, text them most days. I've heard the oldest 2 in the past 2 days say things like, Ugh, mom calls or messages me every day, unquote. In those times, I tell them it's what moms do. It's their thing. It's okay. What I have told them is, from me is, I love you. I would love to talk to you or see you every day, but you have your life too. Just give me when you can, what you can. Blah, I can't read today. Let me skip up here. All right, there we go. Then it says, oh, browser, don't do this to me. Hold on. Okay, that's great. There it is. With the pandemic, my ex has been very concerned about exposure. I talked with my youngest about it. I said that if you are concerned about my level of exposure and worry about me getting sick and making you sick, I understand if, for the time being, you would rather stay at your mom's house. He says, I was going to job interviews and now currently working at a retail gig while looking for something more rewarding. I don't have to be doing stuff with my kids all the time. I get enjoyment just having them around with just them being there. It's in line with my FOO. What does that mean? FOO. F-O-O.
Fear
Family of
of.
origin issues.
Oh, I've never heard of that. Okay.
Oh, we should do a segment on that sometime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's news. That's a new one to me. I don't remember a lot of interaction on a daily basis with my dad, but he was always there. My dad would take me to school unless I rode my bike. He was there for dinner unless it was men's night at the golf course. Is that a thing? Men's night at the golf course?
I've never heard of that, but wow.
Men's
Okay.
night.
Yeah, I know. Like if there's any place that doesn't need an additional men's night, it would be a golf course.
Yeah, it seems to me it's mostly men's night. But anyway.
Gentlemen only, ladies forbidden.
That's right.
That's right.
On rare occasions, he would join at the local pool, and it was a special thing for us. We would go to all of our events. I am one of 5. If he could, he never criticized our performances or extracurricular stuff. Him and mom would play cards and stuff like Life and Clue with us. As kids, we were left on our own devices as long as our grades were good and we didn't cause too much mayhem. I feel disconnected from them, his kids he means. I don't want to come across as needy. I miss them. I don't know how to communicate without making them feel guilty, or communicate that without making them feel guilty. I don't want to be that parent. All right, so that's B's message. I can only say, as I pass this to Wendy, that I felt a lot of this in that early month and a half, where my kids are literally a 6.5 minute drive from me, and I couldn't do anything about it. I hated it.
Yeah.
So we were FaceTiming, we were Skyping, we were Zooming, we were doing all that stuff to keep in touch with each other. We were talking every day. We were texting. There was something missing though, like that just proximal contact was gone, and it sucked. And I didn't get to see Van for like 2 months or something straight. And when I finally did, it was like the greatest day ever. So I totally feel where he's at. We're also similar age. So, Wendy, what do you want to do here? How do you want to? And tell us about food. Just give us a quick breakdown of what that is, because I've never heard that.
Yeah,
phrase.
so FOO is just shortcut lingo, which is really obvious acronym. Is your family of origin issues. Family of origin is what the FOO is, and then it's usually about the issues. Right?
Do you think that's what Dave Grohl was fighting?
Really, FOOI.
Oh, that's true, Fooey.
Yeah.
But do you think that's what Dave Grohl was doing? He's Foo Fighters is fighting your family of origin issues.
Of origin,
No,
totally.
definitely not.
Okay, all right. Just making sure.
No, and so okay, and this is still probably most schools sort of teach this methodology when you do an intake with a client, you are mapping out their story and why they're there and what they need, etc. But then you're always digging into like, what's your family of origin? And so you usually write FOO, and then you draw a chart, and the chart's like, it's like looks like a genealogy chart where you have your X's and your boxes and the names and the siblings and then who's with what, because it's usually a lot and you got to keep it straight and whatever.
Yeah.
And so then you can see, as there's anyone in the family with any history of schizophrenia or bipolar, or, depending on what you're looking at, you're getting questions about their psychiatric family history stuff, as well as any abuse and that kind of thing. So when I think this person's talking about, they're taking their own family of origin experience and looking at it and then applying to what is going on right now. So you can kind of check in, right? So for example, and I don't know necessarily about this person, but an example might be, because I'm working with a lot of people whose kids are, they're in a custody situation, and it's been really disjointed, of course, because of COVID, and a bunch who have had to cross state lines for custody sharing, and that has been crazy hard because they are not supposed to be traveling, or they have to fly and all this it's been a mess, right?
Right.
Anyway,
Right.
but the family of origin issue could be around, what a father means or does or something like, and he kind of listed what his dad was there for him to do. And it's creating conflict because he can't fulfill the role he thinks a father is supposed to fulfill. And so there's positive versions of family of origin things, right? But there's also negative ones, like you were told all the time that you weren't good enough. And so suddenly you're not able to parent in the same way that before would help you feel like you're a good enough parent. And now you feel restricted. So it's really triggering the I'm not good enough, I'm failing, stuff that really did come from another place. It's not actually just from this moment. It's from somewhere else that's showing up in this moment. So that's why it's important to get into your foo, because you can see how interconnected your present moment is to things you experienced in your past and the training you had I like brainwashing. Sometimes we get brainwashed into certain things when we're younger.
Yeah.
And then they show up and sort of haunt us in weird ways in the present.
You have to
So that's about
dig deeper to unbrainwash later on as an adult.
or just bring it to the surface, right? Of like, oh, yeah, that's right. My brother, blah, blah. And then here I'm having this thing. So one thing I'll often ask people is I'll say, so like if I was talking to this guy, I would say, okay, when was the first time you felt this similar kind of feeling?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to find multiple times in his life, potentially, maybe even a very vivid one when he was younger, where this powerlessness existed. And you could say, oh, no, this is because of the pandemic. And you say, well, then you're not going to help anybody if you're going to stick with, oh, it's just the pandemic. Because that's it. Everyone's handling this different because everyone has a different foo, or everyone has a different mindset or set point of optimism and pessimism, right? We're all just very different handling the same storm. But often how we handle it is based on things that have happened prior and the skill sets we developed to handle those when we were kids. And sometimes they don't work when you're an adult.
Yeah.
So it's a fun, it's one of my favorite things to do is dig into that with people, because they are pretty sure they know their history and they're always surprised. Like an abuse history, people would go, oh yeah, I figured it was a problem. But there's plenty of just really nice, normal families that create challenges in people's thinking. And so to dig in there and figure out what it is and to make some adjustments, it's pretty simple and really powerful. And it doesn't mean you got to disown your family, right? There's so many variants of, tackling that stuff.
For some reason, this reminds me of the conversations we've had before about labeling your kids or giving them their
role.
Their role, yeah. Sometimes you think you're doing a good thing by saying, "Oh, he's my sensitive one," but what you're actually saying is, forget about all the issues about what that means about the sensitive one, but also what you're saying is the rest of you aren't very sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Or she's my smart one. The rest of you aren't that smart. Like,
right, yeah.
Those count as some of this, right? That's a little foo there going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and so much of sort of our identity development occurs in the context of your family of origin, right? Like who you are in relation to siblings, or if you're an only child, you in relationship to the dynamic of parents eyeballing you the whole time. And depending on people's characteristics, or, we could probably do a whole episode on narcissistic parenting and what challenges that creates for a child to try to meet the need of a parent who's a bottomless ego pit sometimes is like the damage that gets done and the things you have to do to survive childhood when certain issues are so especially subtle and psychological versus my family, we have to wash our hands before dinner and we have to sit there quietly till dad eats. That's weird.
It is weird.
But if that's all what's going to happen as an adult, you'll just be like, oh, I always stare at my food for 10 minutes before I eat. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Oh, that's because you were trained to wait or
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
So sometimes it's having somebody else help you go through those things. And going back to our emailer, he obviously has some awareness of this. But there's also this element of like what do I do with this emotion that I've had here or there in my life? So exploring those past stories could be a powerful exercise. So, talking through with a friend or a therapist to go deeper into these are things that have happened. And then how have I handled them over time? Because currently your current skill set is usually related to whatever your skill set was the first time it happened.
Right.
So if you were 7, you might be still working with your 7-year-old skill set.
Yeah.
And that sounds like, oh no, that can't be, and it's not good.
Yeah.
Or you were 18, and 18 is the new 7 because I'm getting old. But that idea of like, so you went and partied and got drunk 10 nights in a row after something occurred. So you're now 50. Is that the plan? No, like you have to adjust and change and gain skill. And it's important to, first of all, have access to that information and to recognize the pattern,
Right.
which is huge. Pattern recognition is crucial to so much of healing your present problems, to see where they have been before, what you used to do, and then what do we need to do differently this time.
Is repressed memory stuff tied to that as well? Like if you something traumatic happened and you don't remember it, like is that tied to this whole thing?
It absolutely can be. So, for example, say you were, attacked and abused horribly, or there was an ongoing abuse sort of situation. There's the psychological mechanisms that protect people are pretty amazing. And some people will have some memory, others will have very vivid post-traumatic response type of memories and are sort of constantly reactive after that. And then there are documented cases where people have almost no memory of that thing and it emerges later. Now, we have to be very careful with that because we can really manipulate memory pretty easily. Like think about an event from your childhood that you think you remember, but actually it's just that you saw pictures of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm pretty sure I remember this one hike when we were all in Lake Powell and you had rocks in your shoes and you cried the whole time. And Tara fell and cut her chin open and we blah, blah, blah. And I was like 3. I don't have a memory of that. I have memories of a picture and people telling me stories.
Yeah.
But it feels real.
Yeah.
The picture in my mind is the same as that stupid picture, which I'm in. So
Yeah.
hello.
How old was I?
Obviously,
in this
not a
picture?
memory.
How old was I in this picture? I'm just curious. Do you know?
You are 7 years older than me, so you must.
Oh, I
be
can cry then. That's fine. I was afraid I was like,
Totally okay.
you were 13 and you were crying like a
Right.
baby.
No, and I might have even been younger. I don't even. All I know is I technically would not have remembered that.
Yeah,
But
because you're a little tiny infant. You were probably not even talking or walking yet.
Yeah. And so we have some history in psychology that is not awesome. In the 80s in particular, there was a concern that children were being abused. I feel like if I could go back in time and I could, I don't know, control how the news worked, and gave people like more information than they currently had, it would be magic. Because there was an influx in children reporting sexual abuse. And then you had sort of the whole industry going, oh, well, this is a thing. And so they started asking kids, and there's documentation on this that's fascinating, because people were wanting to make sure these kids were safe.
Right.
And what they ended up doing is using sort of leading questions without knowing that's what they were doing. I don't think anyone was malicious in this. I think they were genuinely freaked out and trying to make sure kids were going to be okay. But you can ask the wrong question to a child very easily.
Yeah.
Which is, well, when he came in the room, did he,
Yeah.
because you're trying to get a kid who shouldn't be able to, sort of linearly explain a story of abuse and trauma.
Right.
Like they would do that. They would show that through play. And we know all this now, but in the 80s, there's a lot of things we didn't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there was a lot of accusations against people and teachers, and, some really rough stuff happened, and they couldn't lots of problems that came of it. So we have to be very careful about that, about leading someone to thinking they had a memory. Obviously there were many people who were abused, so it's not that it didn't happen. It's just that there was some.
Right.
I think it was one particular town that was really bad. But anyway, so that idea of your memory formation and that type of thing is tricky. Our perceptions are all a little hard to measure. So when you say, is it related? Well, yeah, it's related because, you maybe have been through something really tough and your brain has said, I'm not going to remember that. And then you have an experience that will pull up a similar feeling, right? Or put you in a vulnerable or scary place, and it could trigger that. So people will have sometimes flashbacks at various points in their life. Sometimes people have taken certain medications that are psychoactive and have had, it's almost like the brain's like a storage unit kind of. And sometimes you accidentally hit the right code and it opens the door and you're like, wait, what? Mm-hmm. And so often what I have found in therapy is that as I work with people and they get closer to it's safe and it's sort of like we're peeling away layers of things, then things will emerge that it just wasn't safe before to emerge. It's almost like the storage unit has a safety valve that just says, yeah, you're not ready for that.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, like PTSD is an example of like the storage unit doesn't work. It's not going to hold those memories because they are too loud, too big, too scary, and they haunt you, Mm-hmm. So it's fascinating how it kind of works differently for different people. But I mean, this is all pretty extreme stuff. And, going back to the emailer, it sounds like maybe his stuff isn't as extreme, but maybe there is some connection. On top of the fact that this is just hard. It's a hard time to navigate co-parenting in a divorced custody, situation where, I mean, it doesn't sound like they're mortal enemies. So you imagine if you are also absolutely hating your ex and trying to navigate small kids going back and forth, and it's really a tough time. So when you're this powerless to do much different than what it sounds like it has a lot of connection to them, and it's just hard, is that it's the requirement of each of us at various parts of this pandemic life that we now live is to handle the feelings that are arising, right? And to deal with, rather than what we tend to be able to do is have action, right? We just go over there and talk to the kid, or we just need a vacation, so we demand a vacation and we go on one, or whatever. Like the things we can't physically do to avoid our feelings. I guess we can Netflix it constantly or whatever we do. Mm-hmm. That's now a verb, by the way,
Netflixing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's didn't they, the Oxford Dictionary something actually made it officially a verb or something like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
I can't remember who did it. No. I don't remember who it was. Somebody somewhere made it more official, and I can't remember who it was. It may not have been Merriam-Webster. I believe like it
that, because it is a thing. But so I think there's a bit of, for maybe everybody, a little bit of a mirror placed in front of us that says, like, how you doing?
Yeah.
You're like, not well.
Not so good
My
right now.
My hair's to the floor. I need a freaking haircut.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Are you guys what was I going to say about that? I forgot. It was something about the haircut. Crap. I don't remember now. Doesn't matter. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So my worry at the moment, and I would worry for our emailer in this regard, is that a lot of people did the work of the first 3 months, did the stay separate, keep, make those sacrifices so that we can really push this down and keep it at bay. And scientifically speaking, those measures where they were done show a difference. They made a difference. Like, we can now see that data, and it made a difference. And more of it would have helped even more. But now we've got two things happening. One, people demanding, I got to get out of here and get my hair cut. And then you have people now fighting for a cause that's, a genuine cause, but putting themselves at risk in that way as well. So if we really do have a second wave coming, I'm a little worried about this, the collective psyche of everybody, especially people in his position who've been trying so hard to make this right or do it right, that they're going to now have to pay like that price.
One step forward, two steps back.
Yeah. For all the work it took.
Demoralizing.
All the work it took them to get this done, now they're going to have to take it in the chin again. And I mean,
start over. Yeah.
I don't know if there's any way to avoid it, but I wish we could.
I think there's probably no way to avoid it, but I do think there is, okay, let's make two categories really quick. So people who have diagnosable anxiety, depression, some type of mental illness that is they have been treating before.
Yeah.
I mean, they're faring better probably than the average because they have been working on those skills, right? And they have safety plans already in place. They have a support system. You know what I mean? There's a lot that they've maybe been doing, which I think is why when all this sort of went down, I just was getting thank you notes and people saying they're doing good and my clients were doing. I mean, I feel like for the most part, it was just like, yeah, I'm ready for this. Like I've been ready every day since my anxiety began in 2001 or whatever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you have a bit of like that. Then you've got sort of folks who just were living their lives and doing their thing and that had not been their experience. And then here is this strange experiment to live your life in. And it's highly stressful, potentially. There's fear and there is uncertainty. There's the economic drain of all of it. There is, if you are a caretaker for anyone else, you're now like worrying about others and their well-being in a very new way. And there's silver linings and we've talked about that. And there, there's things that have been good for people and harder for others or whatever. So everyone's kind of doing it and we've got the idea and we're doing it and it's kind of wintry time. And so we can maybe be all right snuggling up. And then it's like, it's hot. It's beach time. We're out. Right.
Yeah.
And information has been bizarre. Like, I feel like they need to have one person from the CDC speak and no one else. Like, guys, you cannot stop confused. Like, you don't understand how it's ridiculous.
It's like having two parents that, one says, no, you can stay out till 11. And the other one's like, nope, 9:30.
Yeah.
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 And what it does is it makes for a rebellious kid. And that's what we've created.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're pretty rebellious anyway.
A nation of rebellious kids.
Yeah, we're all like 13-year-olds was like, I'm going anyway.
Yeah, stop me.
Right. And we're stupid enough to not realize it's going to get us killed. But, so it's tricky. But so take all of that first round. And then there's a lot of people who have had to dig deeper. And there are plenty of people who didn't do a good thing during this time. And there's a lot of really strenuous situations that exploded. Like, not good things have happened in homes everywhere.
Oh yeah. I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. You were talking about how domestic abuse cases were just like skyrocketing, and because you basically trapped these people in a situation where they're already volatile in normal circumstances, but now you've said don't move, everyone stay where you're at and stay together. And for a lot of us, it's like, yeah, I like my wife. This is great. I'm going to stay here with her. She's awesome. But in a lot of families, it's like, no, he beats the crap out of me. Or he's drunk all the time. Or now we're drinking all the time. Or now the kids are in our faces and I'm even closer to popping off all the time. Like, it's bad, that stuff.
Yeah. And you realize that maybe a bunch of situations were tenuous anyway, but there was at least physical space that could be had or outlets that were outside of that relationship that helped. And so it's collectively been pretty traumatic, I would assume. And again, I always say this, but I just want the research papers now. Like, I want to know. And, like, they've tried to evaluate how was distance learning for kids. And, sort of report after report is like, not good at all. Right. Like, we weren't meant to do that and to do it suddenly. And, a lot of people are amazing and figured a lot of things out and were great, but the system wasn't built to handle that. And we lost so many kids, just never showed up, never got on, never checked in. I mean, crazy numbers. Yeah. And so a big old failure for kids has occurred. Let alone whatever else is happening in their homes. So, all of that's very tricky. And then we've got a lot of people who have grown closer. And a great way to think of it is the pandemic's the accelerant. It's lighting on fire what's already foundationally there, right? Yeah. And it just makes it go faster. So if your marriage was pretty cracked, it cracked bigger, right? If your marriage was pretty strong, it got probably stronger. I mean, it just accelerated maybe the path you're already on. And I think this next round of things will be harder because it's sort of, it's like not giving your kid a curfew and now he's got a curfew. Yeah. There's no way we're going to behave well around this unless I don't know, unless it becomes a little more real for somebody. I now know about 12 people who have had it, and all of them pretty serious, many of them in hospitals. And I mean, it doesn't take much until you have a, firsthand acquaintance or friend or loved one to go, yeah, maybe I need to think this through. And, and there are plenty of areas where there's so few cases and hospitals are just fine. And then there's others where they are absolutely not. And so it's just a tricky, I don't know. And so everyone knows this stuff. I'm just repeating what we all know, but it's fun to get scared about it. Okay. So let's talk about what like individual mental health first aid in your own sphere would look like.
Okay.
So I want each of you to give me something. Think of it as like your toolkit or your first aid kit. What do you have in there that helps you? It could be anything that helps you stay grounded, helps you relieve stress, or sort of manage difficult relationships, or fear, or whatever. Just anything that you've done.
Just on the whole, like, wow.
Yeah, it could be on the whole. It could be, I don't know. I mean
during this.
Yeah,
sourdough's helped me through this. Yeah. Like doing all these dumb sourdough recipes, even though I still can't make bread, but that's helped me cope just with this.
Yeah.
Okay.
But man, the relationships, that's tough because I've kind of not really stopped talking, but I've limited my talking to some people during all this because their opinions don't quite jibe with mine as far as going out and avoiding spreading things and stuff like that.
I mean,
I know some hoaxers.
Some hoaxers. Well,
I know
really
some
quick,
hoaxers.
There's some sort of initial data and understanding that people are sort of having two responses to being in lockdown that are fascinating, and everyone will be having a varying degree to this, but you could sort of categorize it as becoming a little more self-centered, right? And so it's a protective response, and there's a couple things happening. One is, of course, just stress, and then what that does physiologically to us. So a lot more sitting, a lot more staring, a lot more, kind of cocooning that occurred. And then the second one being compassion fatigue, of like trying to be there for somebody else when you're sort of exhausted being there for yourself, or even your immediate family members. It's really common to have compassion fatigue in my industry because you're constantly having to express compassion and listen and whatever. And I think there's a lot more of that. So take the American, how are you? We never had to say what was real before. And now people are literally stopping and going,
they're answering the question. It used to be just fine.
Yeah.
So
we
love this conversation. We could just get out of it so quick. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Fine, good. I'm done with
right
that.
now we have compassion fatigue with just our greeting. We did not have this before.
Yeah.
So there's those two things are happening. So Brian, you're describing a little bit of like self-preservation. I mean, self-centeredness is a negative way of saying it, but it's the self-preservation a little bit of.
Yeah, I like to think of myself as self-preservationist, not self-centered.
You are.
There you go.
You're a self-conservationist. Good. Okay, that's a good one. How about you, Scott? What do you got in your toolkit?
Oh gosh, so many little things that I do for just daily things, like time in the little breakfast nook thing on the porch with Kim in the morning before shows has been huge. We just get to talk and relax and think about the kids and, how things are going. And, just sort of those are our time to sort of just reflect and chill. So those have been important to me. The things that have brought me the most comfort in all of this is weirdly, well, other than being able to see the baby once in a while, that's like, that changes my whole perspective every time he's over here or we're over there. But that, they can't last forever and he has to go home. So for me, this thing I've been doing lately is I kind of surround myself with, you're going to probably tell me this is unhealthy, but I surround myself with old stuff that reminds me of simpler times. So I've been watching, when in junior high, I'd come home and watch G.I. Joe after school every day, because I loved it. And Hasbro's running a 24-hour live stream of G.I. Joe episodes from the 80s, just nonstop on their channel on YouTube. And I love having that on in the background. It's dumb. It's terrible. It was never good, but there's something about it that says, hey, remember that? Remember when you were 12 and life was easy?
Soothing.
Remember when there were good guys and bad guys?
Yeah, or yeah, exactly. It was a much more clear-cut thing, and everybody kind of worked together, even though it was cheesy and dumb. It was still, I don't know, there was a sense of that. And the same thing goes for, like, you know, HBO Max came out, and the number one thing I've watched on there is old Bugs Bunny cartoons from the 40s and 50s that were, again, being repeated when I was a kid. And I've surrounded myself with the sounds and sights of when I was young and things were simple. And I don't know why I'm doing that, other than it does give me a weird sense of comfort. Like it makes me feel like, oh yeah, we're okay.
It's a visceral, like you can create a visceral journey to a very safe place.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, music will do that, right?
Mhm.
Where you can hear the song and it puts you in just easier, simpler, whatever.
Yeah. Or sometimes music's really good at like dealing with the anger that I feel about a lot of stuff that's happening right now. So the other day when I kind of had a bit of a blowout online with some community stuff, don't need to get into it again, but after that, I went and listened to Green Day's American Idiot like 5 times over. Because that whole album, it's a great album to begin with, but that whole album has like a lot of resonance today for lots of reasons. But then it is also a bit of a throwback for me to funny enough, what feels like a simpler time, even though it was in the middle of the Iraq War and there were issues there. But that's been a good way for me to blow some steam off. Listening to like Five Finger Death Punch and like some heavy metal has helped with moments where I just like I need to just blow off some hardcore steam. And then later, I want the more simple things of like, hey, I haven't seen Secret of Nim in a long time. Let's watch that old cartoon, because that was the thing I used to do with my sisters.
Yeah, Secret of Nim's great.
Yeah, I love Secret of Nim.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, I think this is not a uncommon thing people connected to. And I think a lot of, like G.I. Joe streaming 24 hours on YouTube is an example of some of these companies recognizing that need and providing it, right? Because, hey, captive audience, and we're craving that thing. I mean, I think like a documentary about Michael Jordan coming out was like timely in many ways, but it's also, I mean, that era for me was just simple because of how old I was, right? So if we talk to people old during certain eras, they're just like, no, it was terrible. Everything was on fire, right?
Right.
And I think, you know, my kids, what will they remember about this time and, you know, what we're doing? And we're playing a lot more board games.
Yeah.
And laughing. And like, so, and they're not running around, and I never tell them we're late anymore. Like they're having some good childhood right now. But I'm the adult going, oh my gosh, what is this? And what are we going to do? So it's maybe just, it's not regression in a negative sense, but it's a soothing, safe, creating kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, those are both great ideas. And here's the thing, everyone's going to have slightly different needs here. Some are going to be maybe more emergency kinds of bigger actions that need to be taken to keep them safe mentally or emotionally or in relationships. But I would say what you both have sort of pointed out is something that's consistent, almost daily, that is self-preservating and nurturing to some extent, are going to be, think of that as like the foundation of your mental well-being that you've got to keep going. I don't know what we all were doing before, but I think we were all using adrenaline more than we do now, right? Like we're just stressed and keep going and run from this place to the next place and then go out and relax and then recover and then start work again. You know, like I think the hyper speed of it all is not great for us, but it wasn't slowing down and staring at ourselves. That's pretty hard to do.
Right.
And we've done it, but there really does need to be these sort of baseline care things. So to the emailer, if you're going to build your sort of wellness first aid kit in your home, when you can't have the kids provide some of the thing that they used to because you could physically be with them, he's done a lot of really good things where he has built connections and maintain those things, even with the distance, right?
Right.
And it would look like, what other things do you need to make sure you're doing to care for yourself, your mental well-being, your physical well-being, cooking something nice for yourself, treating yourself well, connecting with other people on calls or from your past. I think that's been an interesting thing I've had a few people do, where they reach out to people back when it was simpler, right? And just connect with them and thank them for their influence on your life, or some way of, again, grounding yourself in the good that has existed and is existing, but making sure there is a daily something that does that.
Right.
I think people have maybe gotten used to neglecting their well-being, and this is, once a vacation a year is not enough. This would need to be a daily sort of caretaking.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to have like a 1 week vacation where it solves all this, like really clears out that system. No. It needs to be like a consistent thing you just are doing all the time now to take care of yourself and those around you. And Kim and I are definitely bumping into that, because we used to think, oh, well, when this is all over, we're going to go to, but now we're like, all right, well, this is still going on, and it might actually get worse. So what we're going to do is every day we're going to do this, and these 3 things have to happen. This thing with us and ourselves, and it's for us, and then this thing that we're going to do for this neighbor who's got 3 kids and no dad at home, and those kids are going crazy, so let's see if we can help those people. And then the 3rd thing we'll do is make sure we're checking in with all our kids and make sure everybody's good and has all they need. And as long as we get those 3 things done every day, you can fill the rest of it with whatever you got to do. You can have the busy work day. Kim can have a crazy day upstairs. We just changed all the floorboard stuff, or not floorboard, whatever you call it, the molding or the, what are those called?
Oh, yeah.
The trim. Sorry, the trim things.
Mm-hmm.
So she's in the middle of worrying about all that stuff and getting it painted and everything and trying to do it on the cheap and everything. We can fill our lives with all of that. But if we get those 3 things, we have felt better. Like, part of the reason I think I slept better last night is because we did those 3 things. And it felt good to say, we took care of ourselves, we took care of somebody else, and we checked in with everybody. Good. We're good, And I think I slept better, weirdly.
That's a great sort of pattern to just model after. If you're listening to this and you're like, I want to feel better or more in control, then pick 3 things will make you feel good and do them every day. So one might be, and this might be really hard, everybody, is to stop panic, drama, negative scrolling on your phone. Just stop it.
Oh, there's a new name for that, by the way. I found it.
What is it?
I found it on the Urban Dictionary, funny enough, but it's called doom scrolling.
Yeah, that's it. Doom scrolling. Stop doom scrolling.
Yeah.
So it may be that you allow yourself to doom scroll over lunch, but do not do it in the morning and do not do it in the evening. Just make a rule. Check that off every single day. It'll change your life, by the way.
Yeah.
Then another one might be move your body and make sure you take a shower.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're talking such simple things, but they have the most impact, right? Doing something big and courageous and huge takes a lot of work and planning and time and effort. That's not going to be the thing. You need a foundation that is really daily ritual of. And so everybody pick 3 things that make you feel good, and they will make you feel better if they are done on a daily basis, and do them. So maybe you're like, I skip breakfast a lot and I forget and I don't ever feel good and whatever. I need to, and then just, be your own mother or something and just get yourself some friggin' breakfast, right? But then you just maybe have a little 3 check mark list that you just check those things. And it's really not a bad idea if you feel like you're starting from scratch. But I also think, so take your breakfast nook where you're like sitting and enjoying this moment. To me, that's what a vacation is.
Yeah.
That's
the whole thing. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to travel 1,000 miles and be exhausted to go find a breakfast nook to sit down and talk to my husband.
Yeah. Spend a bunch of money.
And spend a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
And so you got to realize there's a lot of vacation-like moments you can create, but it requires ritual. It requires some intention and making maybe space feel different than it was before.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
That's why I like a good thunderstorm that just like messes with everything.
Yeah,
Because
I like
you're
that
like,
too.
I'm in a weird
reset.
other world.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's really good when that happens. And actually lately we've got a bunch of those. So that's been kind of nice. But
Fun.
Although this going from 95 degrees one day and back down to 43 the next is weird. Let's not do that anymore, please. Weather's weird right now. So.
That's not great.
Yeah, I don't love that. All right. Well, I think this is all good stuff. I hope our emailer got as much out of it as we did, because we always do. And I know the chat room always gets a lot out of it. Although I can't see them right now because that window crashed. So I hope they're doing well in there, chat room. I hope you're all great. Anyway, text issues aside, you can find more Wendy stuff specifically over at realsteps.org, where you can always sign up for a version of this one that comes. Well, you guys are starting a new one soon, I guess.
Yeah, well, let me tell you what we're doing. So I'm going to send out an email today or tomorrow. Maybe I'll say tomorrow, so then everyone has a chance who's listening today to sign up. If you sign up, you will be put on, there's just like an email list, right, as that happens.
Sure.
And I'm going to send out an email, and you can opt in or out. It depends on what you want to do, right? But about once a week, we're just going to send free content in an email with just a couple things to try and get to know both of us. And then the actual program starts in August. But so through end of July or June and July, there'll just be some delicious, fun recipes. There will be some psychological things, just a little bit of free content that's going to come your way every week. So
nice.
Sign up for that, and then you can decide if you want to do the August thing. You'll get a little taste of it. Anyww, realsteps.org.
.org. It's like a newsletter, kind of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, yeah. And also, I don't want to bug anyone, so please just unsubscribe the second you get it if you don't want it.
Yeah,
that's fine too.
Yeah. That's the other thing.
Because I know how that is.
Yeah, we know. My wife, you should see my wife's inbox. It's a nightmare. I'm not nearly as bad as she is. She signs
you know
up
what I
for
did?
everything.
Is I got mom's Gmail password, and I went in there and I just deleted probably 200,000 emails.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And now I'm just slowly unsubscribing her from literally everything she accidentally signed up for. So
I'm so glad it's you doing that. That's fantastic.
I know,
to hear.
isn't that weird? And it's because I could do that basically. It's because she hasn't been able to receive an email since November because it was full.
Oh, because she's run out of space. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, Mom, how's that even possible?
Yeah, it shouldn't be
She's
possible.
Like, I don't know. So I have dejunked her. There's nothing in there now.
Amazing.
But ads for Bed Bath and Beyond.
My favorite thing about her mother and technology right now is that she has, for a very long time, for months now, somebody hacked her Twitter account. She never uses Twitter, but she had one. She used it a little bit in the early days. And I get spam from that account all the time saying, hot young girls from Singapore, just click here, this sort of thing, from my mother, from my mom's account in my private messages. And it's just freaky and I hate it. And I told her, I said, Mom, your account's kind of hacked. Oh, I don't care about Twitter. Just let it. It's fine. I'm like, well, yeah, but
I don't care that I'm helping slave labor be.
Yeah, you're part of an underground sex ring and you don't know it, Mom.
Right,
You gotta change this. This is not good. But anyway,
I'll get that password and I'll
we'll
clean up.
We'll deal with it. We'll deal with it when we deal with it. All right. Do check that out. Always good to hear from you, Wendy. I hope you have a fantastic week, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye now.
See ya.
Good stuff, Brian.
Yeah.
Hey, chat room, now's your chance to say terrible things about me because I can't see it. So.
Oh, there you go. Go. Oh, geez.
Oh.
Wow, that was a low blow. He can't control that. Jeez.
I know. Look, penis size is assigned by nature. I didn't.
It's genetics.
I can't help it. All right. Here's a quick email message from Jeff. Jeff wrote in and says, can you believe in 6 months it will be the 5-year anniversary of the death of David Bowie? No, I cannot believe it.
No, I can't, because I would have said, when did Bowie die? 2018. But it's 2015?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how much time has
End of the year
passed.
2015?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Can you believe that? That's nuts.
That is crazy.
He died the Fury Road year? What's going on? What's happening? Anyway.
There's AFR and BFR. There's before Fury Road and after Fury Road.
Yeah, we need to change the way we do. Forget about AD and, BC. I almost said DC. ACDC. Forget about ACDC.
DC. Forget ACDC.
Yeah.
Icy Dicey.
Icy Dicey. All right, good stuff. Thanks everybody for being here. We are, as always, available to you because you guys support us at patreon.com/TMS. Tomorrow afternoon, you'll get a PM edition of the show you can only get by being a patron. Sign up today at any level and get that along with other great benefits at patreon.com/TMS. If you're trying to get a hold of us, find our emails, find our voicemail, find our Twitter accounts, all that stuff. One place will get you there, frogpants.com/TMS. And that includes song requests. It includes everything. It's all there. So go check it out.
All of it.
Links to everything. Frogpants.com/TMS. All right, that's it. Let's get out of here. We got to do a song to leave with.
Right, our favorite person, Joe Acosta. Now, not to be confused with CNN correspondent Joe Costa or anything else of note that gets triggered in your imagination, Scott, when he writes in. Monday morning, I go under the knife. This was this last Monday morning to have a hiatal hernia repaired. That's when your stomach